You might not think twice about where your rice cooker sits. It's just there, plugged in, doing its job, steaming quietly in the corner. But what if I told you that something as ordinary as the placement of your rice cooker could be quietly working against you? Not in any dramatic, mystical way, but in the kind of way that slowly pulls at your peace of mind, your energy, and yes, even your finances. Let's be honest, your kitchen isn't just a space for cooking. It's the heart of your home. And in many households, the rice cooker is used almost daily. A simple tool that transforms raw grains into warm nourishment. But how and where we place this little machine says more than we realize. When left in plain sight, cluttered among appliances, or placed too close to the sink or trash, it can start to feel like just another item crowding your countertop. But what's easy to miss is how that physical clutter quietly builds up mental clutter too. Think about it. You walk into your kitchen. The counter's crowded, the cooker's out, cords hanging, maybe a little steam still lingering from last night. It's not chaos, but it's not calm either. And over time, that unsettled energy seeps into your mood, your choices, your day. But here's the shift. When you tuck the cooker away, give it a clean space, maybe even cover it gently. You're not just organizing, you're creating a sense of quiet respect. For the space, for yourself. This video isn't about superstition, it's about attention, about how small, thoughtful placements can influence how we feel and how we live. And the rice cooker, it's not just a machine. In the rhythm of daily life, it's a symbol of care, of warmth, of how much you believe you deserve to feel provided for. Let's explore that. Part 1, rice and cooker nourishing more than meals. When we think about what truly nourishes us, we often picture food. A warm plate, a shared table, the smell of something simmering. But there are deeper layers to nourishment, ones that don't show up on the grocery list or the dinner plate. Layers that settle into the walls of our homes, into the quiet corners of our kitchens, and into the energy we carry throughout our day. And at the center of that, often overlooked, is the rice cooker. It seems simple, right? A small appliance humming quietly, doing its job, but look again. The rice cooker doesn't just make rice, it represents consistency, stability. It turns something dry and inedible into comfort. It transforms. And that act of transformation, repeated day after day, sends a silent message through the home. We are cared for, we are fed, we have enough. Rice, too, is more than a staple. It is a symbol. In many cultures, a full jar of rice means security. You don't see the stress of finances in someone's eyes. You see it in the way they look at their pantry. Is it full? Is it clean? Is it respected? That jar in the cabinet isn't just storing food. It's holding emotional safety. It's telling a quiet story of how we treat abundance. Do we let it grow stale? Do we place it low to the floor, forgettable? Or do we lift it up, care for it, protect it? The placement of the rice cooker and the rice itself is more than design. It's a decision. Every time you walk into the kitchen and see that cooker sitting in a clear space, maybe with a soft cloth over it, maybe wiped clean, you feel something. You may not name it, but it's there. A kind of steadiness, a kind of calm, a reminder that you are not running on empty, physically or emotionally. That in this house, warmth is still possible. And what about when it's left out in the open? Cords tangled, smudged with yesterday's sauce, squeezed between clutter. That too sends a message. One of chaos, one of overwhelm, one of forgotten priorities. Not because we meant it to, but because the small things we repeat quietly shape the atmosphere we live in. The rice cooker becomes a mirror, not of what we eat, but of how we hold space for peace. Some people say energy is just a feeling, and maybe that's true. But feelings influence action, and action becomes habit, and habit becomes the life we live every single day. When we choose to treat even our most basic routines with a touch of care, to lift the rice jar off the ground, to wipe down the cooker, to give it a home, we're doing something bigger than tidying. We're declaring that this home and everyone in it is worthy of care. So yes, it may just be a rice cooker, but it's also the center of more meals than you can count. It's where nourishment begins. And if you think of it that way, not as a machine, but as a message, you might just find yourself wanting to move it, clean it, respect it, not out of superstition, but out of love for the quiet power of enough. Part 2, where to place IT so wealth doesn't wander. You walk into your kitchen every day. It's a space you know by heart. The fridge hums, the counters hold their usual items, and tucked somewhere in the middle sits the rice cooker, probably where it's always been. Maybe near the sink. Maybe right out on the counter. Maybe in that one corner that gets too much sunlight in the morning. It's familiar routine. But what if I told you this one detail, where your rice cooker lives, might be shaping more than your kitchen's layout? It might be quietly shaping your energy, your mindset, even your sense of abundance. We don't often think of appliances this way. But energy doesn't need permission. It flows or it leaks, depending on the space it's given. And wealth, in its truest form, follows energy. It doesn't like chaos. It doesn't thrive in noise. It needs steadiness, protection, and most of all, respect. That's why placement matters. Let's begin with what not to do, because that's where most of us start without even knowing. Don't place your rice cooker right beside the sink. It might seem convenient, but in energy terms, it's a conflict zone. The cooker, a source of heat and transformation, belongs to the energy of fire. The sink, cool, wet, draining, is its opposite. When placed side by side, these two forces constantly push against each other. Even in symbolism, water extinguishes fire. Over time, that conflict creates a subtle tension in your kitchen, one you feel but can't quite name, and often that tension reflects in your finances. Things don't flow, unexpected bills show up. You feel like you're working hard, but something keeps dragging you back. Now imagine your rice cooker sitting right beside the trash can. Again, it's common, easy to access. But emotionally, visually, it's a drain. The trash, by its nature, is where we throw what's no longer useful. It carries the energy of waste, endings, discard. And when the thing that feeds your family sits next to the place where things go to die, the message becomes confused. What's meant to nourish gets tangled in what's meant to be forgotten. This isn't superstition. It's subtle psychology. It's the mood of a space. The impression your home gives when no one's watching, but you're still feeling it. And then there's the walkway placement. The rice cooker that's sitting out in the open, in high-traffic zones, constantly bumped, nudged, passed by. Maybe it's in the middle of a corner where people throw their keys or where groceries land before they are sorted. Maybe the cord stretches awkwardly, slightly in the way. It's functional, yes, but energetically it's vulnerable. Movement stirs energy. Too much movement stirs too much. Just like a pond becomes cloudy when stepped in too often, your wealth energy becomes unstable when the tools that hold it aren't given stillness. Stability comes from calm, and appliances like your rice cooker need calm to work their quiet magic. So what should you do instead? Find a spot that feels sheltered, not hidden out of shame, but tucked like something cared for under a cabinet. Inside a nook, along a clean stretch of counter that isn't in the path of distraction. Somewhere you can reach easily, but where it can rest without being disturbed. A space that says, this item matters. This is not clutter. This is a keeper. Even better, cover it when it's not in use. A simple cloth, clean and intentional, is more than decoration. It's protection. It creates a pause, a sense of care, like closing the door to a room before bedtime, like tucking in a child. It tells your home and yourself that you tend to what matters, even when it's quiet, even when no one sees. And if you're wondering whether this really changes anything, ask yourself how you feel when your kitchen is cluttered versus when it's clean. That's energy. How you move through a space affects how you think, how you rest, how you spend. When your rice cooker lives in a corner that's calm and respected, you feel a shift. You feel less rushed, more rooted, and those small shifts, they ripple into how you plan meals, into how you budget, into how you respond when life gets unpredictable. Placement isn't just about aesthetics, it's about emotional cues. We're deeply responsive creatures. We take in more than we process. And the way you place the rice cooker, this one simple daily item, can remind you that you still have agency. You can design not just your kitchen, but your energy. You can decide what stays exposed and what you choose to honor with a little peace and quiet. So take a look around. Is your rice cooker parked in a busy intersection of your home's energy? Is it competing for attention with the sink, the trash, or the noise of the day? If so, maybe it's time to move it, not dramatically, not urgently, just thoughtfully. Find it a place where energy gathers instead of scatters, where nourishment lives surrounded by calm. Because wealth doesn't always arrive with fanfare. Sometimes it enters gently, quietly. And if it finds that the home is too loud, too messy, too distracted, it leaves. But if it finds a kitchen where even the rice cooker is given a place of calm respect, it stays, it settles, and little by little it builds. This isn't about rules, it's about rhythm. It's not about fear, it's about flow. And in a world that often feels loud, unstable, and rushed, maybe the smallest gesture, like where you place your rice cooker, can be the start of something steadier, something kinder, something that finally feels like home. Part 3. Rice jar. Don't let your fortune sit on the floor. There's something quietly unsettling about seeing a bag of rice sitting directly on the floor. Maybe you've seen it in your own kitchen, or maybe in someone else's. A half-open sack leaning against the cabinet, tucked in a corner, maybe a little dusty. No one meant for it to be neglected. But over time, it just stayed there, out of the way, low to the ground, easy to forget. And that right there is the problem. When something that symbolizes nourishment, security, and enough is stored like an afterthought, the message gets blurry, not just to others, but to yourself. Rice isn't just food, it's a statement. A full jar of rice means there's provision in the house, there's order, there's care. It tells a story, sometimes louder than we think, about how we hold the idea of having enough. And when that rice is placed on the floor, surrounded by broomsticks or tucked near the trash, it quietly absorbs that energy. It becomes an extension of disregard, of lack, of just for now. And if you've lived long enough, you know that nothing in the home is ever truly just for now. The way things sit becomes the way things stay, and the way things stay shapes how we feel. Think about how we treat the things we value. Jewelry goes in a box. Cash goes in a drawer. Important documents are filed away safely. So why would something that feeds your entire family be kept at your feet? Why would the very symbol of continuity, meal after meal, be left in the lowest place in the room? Not because we mean disrespect, but because we stop noticing. We stop remembering that this jar, this container of simple grains, is actually carrying a very big truth. You are provided for, and anything that carries that truth deserves to be lifted. So lift it, not just physically onto a shelf or into a cabinet, but emotionally. Give it a place of dignity. Choose a container that feels intentional, clean, solid, sealed, glass or ceramic, something that feels permanent, something that tells your brain and your heart this matters. This is not a sack in the corner. This is the center of care in our kitchen, and place it somewhere above the waist. At chest level if you can, somewhere you reach with ease, not bend for with effort. There's something powerful about placing abundance within reach, but not underfoot. It subtly shifts your relationship with it. It becomes something you greet, not something you step over. And yes, these things might seem small, but small things carry emotional weight. If your rice is always half empty or tucked away in the dark or forgotten until you're scraping the bottom of the container, then part of you starts to live from that same energy. That not enough feeling, that scarcity mindset that whispers, you're running out, better hold on, better worry. But when you keep the jar full, regularly topping it off, keeping it fresh and clean, you begin to live in a different rhythm. One of enough, one of readiness. One that doesn't panic at the first unexpected bill or the missing coupon at checkout. That's not just kitchen management. That's emotional freedom. Now here's the high point, and I hope it stays with you. When you lift your rice jar off the floor, you're not just protecting it from dust or dampness. You're lifting your sense of worth. You're shifting your entire relationship with the idea of, I have what I need. You're telling your space, your family, your own spirit, this house is not scraping by. This house is steady. And that shift, though subtle, can change everything. Because how you treat what feeds you is how you treat yourself. And in a world that's always telling us to chase more, fix more, buy more, there's something deeply grounding about walking into your kitchen and seeing a full, clean jar of rice, sitting in its rightful place, quietly saying, "This home is provided for." That's not magic, that's care, and it's yours to choose, so go check. Where is your rice right now? And if it's in the wrong place, don't feel guilty, just move it. gently, intentionally, as if you were lifting a belief off the floor and giving it a home, because in a way you are. Part 4, the cloth cover, a quiet act of respect. There's a small detail in some kitchens, a simple cloth draped over a rice cooker. Soft, quiet, barely noticeable unless you're paying attention, and most people don't. It looks decorative at best, old-fashioned at worst. But in homes where intention still whispers louder than trends, that cloth says something rare. This matters, this feeds us, this deserves respect. In a world that rushes, that strips things down to their bare function, the idea of covering an appliance, of softening it, honoring it, might seem unnecessary. But maybe that's exactly why it's needed. We live in an era that glorifies visibility. The shinier, the newer, the more on display, the better. But there's something powerful about knowing when to cover, when to protect, when to give something its own space to rest. The rice cooker, used day after day, is one of the most consistent presences in many homes. It asks for nothing. It performs without praise. It feeds without fanfare. And yet it holds the energy of provision, of care, of quiet abundance. Covering it with a clean cloth is not about hiding it, it's about respecting the energy it holds. Like putting a lid on a pot to keep the warmth inside, a cloth holds in more than heat. It holds memory, stability, a kind of reverence for the small rituals that keep a household running. And it matters what kind of cloth. A faded towel thrown on top won't do. This isn't about patching or hiding, it's about intention. A clean cloth, preferably white or soft-toned, becomes a statement. Not loud, not dramatic, just clear. It says we still believe in care, we still believe in grace, we still believe that the way we treat our surroundings reflects the way we treat ourselves. Because it does. And when that cloth is clean, gently placed, not wrinkled or stained, it speaks even louder without ever raising its voice. This gesture might seem too small to mean anything, but in a home that feels cluttered, where emotions sometimes run dry, where days pass too quickly and attention gets scattered, a single soft cloth can shift the mood. It introduces stillness. It reminds the space that someone is watching, someone is choosing, someone is saying, this is not just a machine. This is part of the rhythm of our life. And rhythms, when honored, become rituals. And rituals, when repeated, shape the tone of a home. What happens when we don't cover it? Nothing drastic, maybe. But slowly the surface gathers grease. Dust settles. The sight becomes background noise, something your eyes pass over without recognition. And over time, it starts to feel like everything else that gets overlooked. The worn dish rack, the pile of mail, the tangle of cords, all those little signs that say life is happening but no one's really tending to it. The cloth interrupts that narrative. It says, this space is not on autopilot. This space is alive with choices. And there's something else. Covering the rice cooker creates a sense of privacy for your abundance. Not secrecy, just privacy, like drawing the curtain in the evening, like tucking away your jewelry before bed. It keeps what's valuable protected, not because we're afraid of loss, but because we understand that good things deserve peace, deserve to be held with gentleness. In energy terms, this creates containment. In emotional terms, it creates security. And security, when felt regularly, leads to something even more powerful, contentment. Maybe the cloth isn't just for the rice cooker. Maybe it's for you. A daily invitation to slow down, to choose care over convenience. To remember that the difference between chaos and calm is often just one small gesture made with intention. A folded cloth, a gentle hand, a moment of stillness. So tonight, before you turn out the kitchen light, look at your rice cooker. And if it's sitting bare, untouched, a little too exposed, try covering it. Find a cloth you love, something clean, something light. Lay it over like you're tucking in something important and feel the shift. You may not notice it immediately, but over time that softness will work its way into you, into your mornings, into your mood, into the quiet belief that even the most ordinary objects, when honored, give something sacred in return. Because care is never wasted. It lingers in corners. It lives in cloth. And it always finds its way back to you. Part 5. When the kitchen is calm, the mind settles. There's a certain kind of tension that starts in the kitchen and ripples out into the rest of the home. You know it, the stack of dishes in the sink, the cluttered countertop, the noisy hum of appliances mixed with the slow build of everyday mess. It's not chaos, but it's not calm either. And that in-between space where things are just slightly off has a way of following you, into your thoughts, into your mood, into the way your day unfolds. We don't always see it, but we feel it. And more often than we realize, it starts right here in the kitchen. The kitchen is more than where we cook. It's where we begin, where we make coffee before the sun rises, where we pause to breathe between errands, where we stand, sometimes without even realizing it, when we're trying to collect ourselves. And because we return to it again and again, it quietly becomes the emotional center of the home. Not loud like the living room, not private like the bedroom, just steady, present, familiar. And when it's filled with noise or clutter or things we haven't tended to, it sends a message we start to absorb without question. There's too much and I can't keep up. But when the kitchen is calm, when the surfaces are clear, the light feels soft, and the air carries the scent of something warm, it changes everything. You exhale deeper, your shoulders drop. The mental fog that was trailing you starts to lift, and suddenly decisions feel easier. Time feels slower. You begin to feel like yourself again. That's not coincidence. That's nervous system science. That's environmental energy. That's the subtle power of a room that says, here you are safe. One of the most overlooked ways to create this calm is through small rituals, intentional gestures that anchor the day. Placing the rice cooker in a clean corner, wiping the counter with a cloth you love, keeping the jar of rice full, lighting a candle at the end of meal prep. These aren't chores. These are signals that tell your body, your heart, your mind, your home, you're held, you're allowed to rest. And when your mind feels safe, it becomes generous. You think more clearly, you spend more wisely, you connect more gently. Your inner world stops bracing for the next problem and starts creating space for joy. That's the connection most people miss. It's not about having a perfect kitchen. It's about having a relationship with your space that brings you back to yourself. So ask yourself this: what does your kitchen feel like when no one's there but you? When you walk in on a quiet morning, what does the room tell you? Does it feel like a place where you can think, or a place that reminds you of everything undone? The difference doesn't lie in square footage or fancy finishes. It lies in energy, in care, in what you choose to notice and what you choose to tend to. You don't need to overhaul your space. Just bring calm to one corner. Start with the area around your rice cooker. Clear it, wipe it down, place a cloth over it if it's not in use. Let that one corner become a refuge, a visual pause, a symbol of quiet order. And notice how, with time, that pause grows. It spills into how you prepare meals, how you eat, how you speak, and how you rest. Because when the kitchen is calm, the mind settles. And when the mind settles, everything else starts to fall into place. Not perfectly, not instantly, but gently. And in a life that often demands so much, gentleness might just be the most powerful thing we can bring into our homes. And it starts, not with noise, not with effort, but with quiet, steady care. Just like the kitchen, just like you. Part 6. Small mistakes that quietly push luck away. Not everything that blocks your luck shows up loudly. Sometimes it's the quietest details that slowly move opportunity out of reach. A habit you never questioned, a placement that seemed harmless, a tiny choice made on a busy afternoon that slowly grew into the atmosphere of your home. And one day you realize something feels stuck, but you can't quite name it. That's because not all misfortune comes from big events. Some of it comes from what we ignore. Start with the rice cooker, where it lives, how it sits. If it's right next to the sink, it might seem efficient, but fire and water are natural opposites. One nourishes through heat, the other cools and drains. When placed too close, they constantly compete, and that subtle clash creates more than energy friction. It creates emotional friction, irritation, delay, a sense that things just don't click the way they used to. And you start to feel it, not just in your kitchen, but in your spending, your planning, your ability to move forward with clarity. Then there's the issue of height. Placing the rice cooker too low on the floor or right above it sends a quiet message to your mind: this doesn't matter. This can be stepped over. And when you step over something every day, your subconscious learns to treat it as ordinary, even if it represents something vital. On the other hand, placing it too high, above your line of sight or in a hard-to-reach spot, creates disconnection. A tool meant to center your home becomes out of reach, hard to access, and often forgotten. And in that forgetfulness, nourishment becomes effort. Energy becomes disjointed. Something simple becomes something complicated. Now think about what surrounds the cooker. Is it tucked beside the trash? Is there a pile of mail beside it? A plug stretched tight, tangled with other cords? These might sound like aesthetic issues, but they're actually energetic ones. The rice cooker isn't just another appliance. It holds a ritual, a rhythm, a message of consistency. And when it's buried under clutter or sitting beside items that represent waste or chaos, it absorbs that energy and reflects it back. These mistakes aren't intentional. No one chooses to block their own flow of fortune. But the home doesn't respond to intention, it responds to attention. What you consistently allow is what becomes normal, and what becomes normal becomes invisible. That's how luck leaves, not with drama, but with quiet resignation. But here's the truth that matters most. Awareness is more powerful than mistake. The moment you notice, you shift. You start to see what your home has been trying to tell you, that little annoyances have meanings, that clutter has a voice, that objects out of place are more than visual, they are emotional. They shape how your home feels, and how your home feels is how your life feels. So go gently. This isn't about guilt. This is about care. Move the cooker a few inches, unplug and reroute the cord. Toss what doesn't belong beside it, wipe the surface, cover it if it's resting, lift it if it's too low. Bring it back to a place that feels like nourishment, not survival. That one change, subtle, quiet, almost forgettable, might just be what reopens the space for luck to stay a little longer this time. You've just walked through something deeper than kitchen organization. You've explored what it means to care, intentionally, quietly, for the spaces that feed you. You've looked at a rice cooker not as an appliance, but as a keeper of warmth, a mirror of stability. You've lifted a jar of rice not just off the ground, but into a place of respect. You've laid a cloth not just to cover, but to honor. And in every one of those small gestures, you've touched something profound. The truth that how we tend to the ordinary reveals how ready we are for the extraordinary. Because in the end, fortune doesn't arrive in a flash. It doesn't knock loudly at the door. It seeps in gently, almost shyly, through the spaces we've made still enough to receive it. And the kitchen, with all its quiet repetition, is one of the first places where energy either settles or slips away. So if today's video stirred something in you, a memory, a longing, a quiet yes you haven't said out loud in a while, I want to thank you for being here, for staying, for choosing, even for a few minutes, to look at your home not as a project, but as a partner. One that holds your routines, your moods, your hopes. Wherever you are tonight, standing at your counter, folding that cloth, checking where the rice jar sits, I hope you feel this, that you are not behind, that you are not too late, that every shift, no matter how small, is a step towards something steadier, something kinder, something yours. Thank you for sharing this quiet space with me. And may your home, from this moment on, speak gently back to you. May it say you are cared for, you are full, you are ready. See you in the next video, and until then, may your light stay on, your meals stay warm, and your heart stay open.